Okay, let's look at our first full example of a chi-square test of independence. So we are looking to see whether the data that was collected is consistent with or contradicts the idea that people's education level affects their decision about marrying. So we got this data from the US Census. A random sample was taken of 665 people, and it measured their marital status and their education levels as shown. Okay, so we've got all that information over there. We want to know, first of all, is this a test of homogeneity or independence, and why? Okay, so let's think about that for a second. Did they take just one sample and record two things, or did they take two completely different samples? So here it looks like, again, I can kind of find it right here. They took a random sample. So a single sample, that means this is a test of independence. So I'm just going to circle that. It's a test of independence. Why? Again, one sample with two categories. One set of people with categories of marital status and education level. Okay, so what keywords tell us that we should be doing a test of association, like a 10.3 thing here, and not a goodness of fit test like we did in 10.2. So what I think that the giveaway word is affects. If something affects something else, then that means that they are associated in some way. Okay, so it is a different type of question, and it's simple enough when you're doing your homework and these kind of problems are separated out from each other, but when you're doing it on the test, then they could be mixed in, and you're going to have to decide by just simply what the question says which test you're going to be running. Okay, let's write our null and our alternate, being very careful here. Our null is always that they are not associated. So I would claim here that marital status and education level are not associated. Again, another way to say not associated is to say independent. Alternately, maybe they are associated. I'm going to skip a little bit of writing here. And just note the main difference there is that they are associated would be my alternate, and that would also be the same thing as saying they depend or they are dependent on each other. Okay, we're going to check the necessary condition. The necessary condition is, are all of the expected counts bigger than 5? I've already got an output to look at, and it's told me that the count is listed on top and then the expected count is listed on the bottom. So I just need to check all of the expected counts, all these bottom numbers. They are all bigger than 5. So yes, we're good to go. And I've already got my output down here. So I've got my chi-squared value and my p-value. So if I'm using that default alpha value, we can say since p came back very small, so definitely smaller than 0.05, we'll reject the null. So if we reject the null, what we are claiming then is that these two things, marital status and education level, are associated in some way. I can't say anything more than that. That's all I was testing, but it does seem like they are associated.